right there.
Is X-Men 97 better than the animated?
Would say yes.
We gotta have some, yeah, we gonna have to have some real heart-to-hearts, you know, or maybe get in the danger room and work it out.
Because he's also still, you know, his human side.
That's flawed. I like that. And that's like a theme of the whole thing, pretty much, you know, from Cyclops, from Professor on down.
Mr. Sinister's in the intro to the show because Mort is frightened of him. It's kind of our window into existing with the X-Men.
This could have been an end of episode cliffhanger. They're like, sorry guys, I just found out that's the real Jean. Dun, dun, dun.
Hey, this is Marcos. Thanks for supporting the X-Pod 97. We now have merch, y'all. Grab a t-shirt, grab a sticker, grab a hoodie, or even get a mug for one of your relatives or something. I don't know. Rep the greatest X-Men podcast on the planet. We love doing what we do, and we want to continue bringing you weekly episodes. So don't forget to rate us and always subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest drops. Thanks again. We appreciate everything. See ya next time. Hey, this is Marcos. Thanks for supporting the X-Pod 97. We now have merch, y'all. Grab a t-shirt, grab a sticker, grab a hoodie, or even get a mug for one of your relatives or something. I don't know. Rep the greatest X-Men podcast on the planet. We love doing what we do, and we want to continue bringing you weekly episodes. So don't forget to rate us and always subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest drops. Thanks again. We appreciate everything. See ya next time. Hey, this is Marcos. Thanks for supporting the X-Pod 97. We now have merch, y'all. Grab a t-shirt, grab a sticker, grab a hoodie, or even get a mug for one of your relatives or something. I don't know. Rep the greatest X-Men podcast on the planet. We love doing what we do, and we want to continue bringing you weekly episodes. So don't forget to rate us and always subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest drops. Thanks again. We appreciate everything. See ya next time. Hey, this is Marcos. Thanks for supporting the X-Pod 97. We now have merch, y'all. Grab a t-shirt, grab a sticker, grab a hoodie, or even get a mug for one of your relatives or something. I don't know. Rep the greatest X-Men podcast on the planet. We love doing what we do, and we want to continue bringing you weekly episodes.
Hey. Boom. Aye. Man, for the countdowns. The God-forsaken countdowns. Hey, yo. It's
been a while.
87. It's been a while. You hopefully you still remember us. We are back. X-Pod 97 ain't go nowhere. Don't get it. We just been we've been traveling. We've been working, man. It's good to be back. I'm Mega Ran. This is Marcos. What's good, bro?
Nothing, man. You know, loving life. You know, watching good movies. Did a live podcast for somebody that I'm cool with. Hey. You know who that is? That person, really accomplished artist.
Was it Hugh Jackman?
Yep, it was him. Hugh Jackman, but he's a nerd rapper now. That's called Mega Ran.
That's what's up, yo. I'm the Hugh Jackman of rap. I'll take that. So yes, we definitely got to shout out BlurredCon for having us at a live event. That was amazing. We did our first live pod. Unfortunately, we did not record it, but I think that's actually for the best because it's in the moment and we enjoyed ourselves. There was a lot of conversation, a lot of debate on who's actually the real problematic people in the in the universe. So it definitely made me rethink a lot. It's like, oh, wait a minute, this person is this way. We had a girl go hard on Rogue, says she was a Karen. So we had a lot of
There's a lot of hot
controversial
takes
opinions there, a lot of hot takes, man. Like Charles is,
including me.
yeah. I think we all agree that Charles is kind of a savage, and he's a terrible person at times. But anyway, we had an awesome time. So we did BlurredCon. I've been on tour. We've been traveling. And in the meantime, in between time, a movie dropped that is very relevant to our interests.
A very tiny art piece movie.
Yeah, this small thing. You might have seen it it's in a few select theaters all around the world. This Deadpool and Wolverine. So to recap you, I'm just gonna let you know this is a pretty spoiler heavy episode. We are spoiling things. Now, if you haven't seen it,
spoiling everything.
Pause this, go see it, come back in a few hours, watch this, because we don't want to spoil anything for you if you haven't seen it. But this will be a spoiler heavy episode. I will make sure to put that in the titles because yeah, man, it's the first weekend. Comic-Con is going on. And if you're not careful on these internet streets, you will get everything spoiled for you.
Oh, you'll get that off with your head immediately. Spoiled.
Man, in my group chat, I can't even talk about this because everybody ain't seen it yet. So it's pretty bad. So I've been just having individual texts with people about all the different amazing spoilers.
You need to turn heel and just drop cameo names. Like, yo, that was crazy. That Flash. They got Ezra Miller to come out and punch somebody at a bar.
Yo, when Homelander came out and punched Deadpool's head off, it was wow.
It was crazy. I like giving misdirecting spoilers. I was like, yo, the fact that they had Harry Potter as the Wolverine, that was crazy.
But in this type of movie, that's really not that unbelievable, though.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, some of the cameos we did see were unbelievable.
Right. I'm like, yo.
Like, I need the privacy that Disney has because they kept some details that
a lot on lock. The only thing I saw, like only slight spoiler that I saw, and it didn't really like move me that crazily, but it was that like right before the movie came out, they started leaking that X-23 was going to be a part of it.
Well,
and so that wasn't a game-breaking spoiler. I was like, okay, that's cool. But anyway, we're going to jump into this movie. We're going to review it, and then we're going to rate it. So let's just kick it off the way we normally do by starting with the plot. So at any point where there's a moment that you feel like we have to talk about, just stop me.
I will.
In 2018, Wade Wilson uses Cable's time-traveling device to travel from his timeline, Earth 10005, to Earth 616, which is the sacred timeline. And at this point, he meets Happy Hogan, and he requests to join the Avengers. He wants to make a difference.
Stop.
Okay.
The reason I want you to stop is that they missed the opportunity of him calling him Foggy because he was the Foggy in Daredevil, which was a 20th Century Fox film. If he'd been like, Foggy, is that you? And be like, I don't know who you're talking about. That it would have popped me. It would have made me Marco. Yeah.
And the way with the many jokes they told, they could have definitely slipped that in and been like, yo, I think I seen you on a Netflix show, or something like that.
Yeah,
they could have flipped it that way. That'd have been funny.
No, it wasn't even the Netflix show. It's back to like Elektra, Ben Affleck, Daredevil.
It's way back. So that's also a 20th Century Fox property. Okay, so there's a lot of love letters to the Fox universe in this. This was, to me, I felt like this was like the wrapping up, tying it with a nice bow. Like, thanks for everything, 20th Century Fox. We are now moving forward. We got it from here, but we appreciate everything y'all have done, and we're gonna, treat those characters with some love. So we start with the Avengers and the rejection. Then 6 years later, Wade Wilson's retired. He's not Deadpool anymore, and he is a used car salesman. He's trying to sell
the fake CarMax that they had, which was excellent.
That was pretty good. I like that he's like in the car with the family trying to, explain all this stuff about the minivan, and all that good stuff. During his birthday party, the TVA comes in, they capture him, and that's what basically sends us to where the big fight scene that starts at the beginning. But they offer, he meets Mr. Paradox, which if you have watched Succession on HBO, Tom Wobsgams, he's a really good character in that. He's like a goofball, but he's hilarious in that show. Then this dude gets a British accent, which feels like purposely,
on the nose.
Yeah, a little overdrawn, but like right on the nose. Who gives him a place on 616. Paradox reveals that Wilson's timeline is deteriorating. I think this, as far as movie plots go, it's a little thin for me. It's like
it's a little thin, but it's like
your family, save the world. It's like okay.
Let's go back to Deadpool 1 and 2. There really was no plot. It was just a whole bunch of shit happened. But like, at least this one made sense because it in my opinion, it comes full circle on the fact that Deadpool is a character that's not appreciated. So the fact that Mr. Paradox is like, I don't really see the value in you, but somebody above me does. So as a courtesy, I'm bringing you over to this timeline. So that was it. Like if Deadpool was a nefarious character, he'd be like, cool, thank you. And then just kept it pushing. Like it was the fact that Deadpool said no, and he set off on a mission to save his universe. That's when the plot took place. And honestly, the intro fight was probably, I've never laughed and cried so hard during a fight. It was the perfect music.
The music, like I like the juxtaposition. It's always like some pop music and then super bloody fights. So that was great. Then the dancing in between, doing like literally almost shot for shot the moves from the videos.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a nice touch. It was straight out of Mortal Kombat. I don't wonder if it was the same, people technology wise that were doing some of those, like the slow motion breaking, knives going in foreheads, and it really felt like Mortal Kombat.
And when I saw it, I turned to my nephew and I had to explain to him. I was like, well, spoiler alert, he was using the corpse of the Logan from the Logan movie. And he was like, why is he using? I was like, they have adamantium. So they're basically weapons themselves. And that is what made it so hilarious, because that is honestly the biggest peak work since X-Men 1 that they ever dropped, 20th Century Fox. So the fact that he took that and just said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to desecrate it. And then he full blown desecrated it.
Totally desecrates it.
It was the funniest thing ever.
Oh man, that's so good. All right. So moving forward a little bit. Okay. Wilson steals the Paradox's pad and travels the multiverse to find a variant of Logan to save the timeline. This is a funny moment where he goes in to finding several Logan variants in different worlds. One's real tiny. They got different hairstyles,
which is supposed to be comic book accurate.
Yes.
So
that was another good catch. Is like Wolverine is actually short, but because we now know him as Hugh Jackman, he's Hugh Jackman's height.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Sidebar. I don't know how they're going to replace Wolverine in the MCU.
I think they dropped it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. What everybody's been fan casting. So, guys, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, they gave us Calverine, which is Henry Cavill as Wolverine.
Yeah, so amongst the many variants we get,
which was amazing. He looked great.
He looked great. They call him by name. Oh, Calverine. Like it was. I was like, wait, no way. That ain't Henry Cavill. No way. So they make some quips about DC. Oh, we'll treat you right over here. You know, things like that. Sorry about what happened over there.
Yeah, which was funny as hell. There
hilarious.
was no pulled punches.
So do you think Henry Cavill becomes Wolverine?
I think honestly that will be the like my quote unquote fantasy booking. I would give him the bread, and I think he's at a point, although we know him as Superman, I think he's such a fan of comics and nerd stuff in general that he would take it just to be a part of a franchise that would appreciate him. But I also think that the casting is not going to happen for a number of years, because I 100% believe that Hugh Jackman, for the foreseeable future, even past the what unquote the tentpole Avengers movies are going to be, I think he's going to still be our Wolverine and continue, because this is like money. And Hugh Jackman apparently has the greatest trainer in the world. He's never fat, but you know how hard it takes for you to be that ripped? And that's natural, like natural as in it wasn't CGI. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, natural. We don't know what kind of supplements they got over there. But dude's 51. And I mean, granted, we've seen it in pro wrestling too. I mean, there's guys.
He's a theater guy. That's what is crazy.
Yeah, there's guys that are older with amazing, physiques out there. So it's not impossible. But man, like 51, I feel like, and the fact that they didn't kill him off in this movie tells me, like, all right, we're gonna try to milk this. And I like that Deadpool made several quips about it, like, oh, you're gonna be doing this till you're 90.
Yeah.
Like, bro, as much as I'd love to see Henry Cavill, it's gotta be a smooth transition. Like, you couldn't just, and I thought like they were gonna kill Wolverine off in this one and start over, but no, it has to be a couple of movies worth of transition happening before we move into a new Wolverine.
Like, as far as I know, and this is all internet speculation, thanks Reddit, he signed for like 4 or 5 more movies,
man,
that could happen in the course of the next 6-7 years. So
yeah, getting that money.
And he's great. Like, and this all happened, let's not say that he's money hungry. This all happened because of the actual magical friendship that he has with Ryan Reynolds. That, to be real, like, I don't know if you guys want to Google and have your fun, Google Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. They've had a quote unquote rivalry for like 15 years. It's the most funniest thing. Like, in real life, outside of the Deadpool thing and everything, like, they quote unquote don't like each other, but it's all bullshit. It's funny as hell. Like, it's like these guys are like Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. They're really, really good friends.
They're really tight. Okay. All right. So I look forward to them returning, which will happen. Yep. All right. So where are we? Oh yeah. So we're now get Logan. They get the worst Wolverine, the worst Logan in the multiverse, who is the
the plot point. They didn't really reveal why he's so, like, they just said he went in and killed people, but like, I thought they were going to show it. I think they probably left that for a future Deadpool. You know what I mean?
Well, they talk about it. There's a point where he finally says what happened, but they don't show it. It's just that, oh, he was too busy getting drunk and the X-Men got killed or on his watch or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then he went on a rampage and started murking, which I would love to see a movie on that. Just a rogue Wolverine just running wild. I would love that. All right. So after an argument and a fight, Paradox prunes them both into the void. And in the void, they see a very familiar face. We see Chris Evans. And
the setup for that is
not ready. Oh my God. This might have been, I mean, there's a couple big pops, but this might have been the biggest one.
But the thing that was funny about that, like, I kind of smelled that coming. But the fact that they ambiguously, like, I'm a nerd and I watch a lot of shitty movies and I watch all the Fantastic Fours. So I could tell by the lining of his uniform who he actually was. But they kept like moving the shot. And they kept highlighting his like tactical pants because they wanted you to assume that this was Cap. But go ahead, tell him what happened.
Oh man, so we get he's gonna say the thing. He's gonna say the thing. Come on, Avengers, and flame on. happens. This dude, I'm really surprised. Joe said the same thing. I'm surprised it didn't leak. I don't know how they kept this airtight, like. But then again, even if you was like, oh, Chris Evans was on set, you wouldn't have thought this is why. Like,
because again, Chris Evans is actually friends with Ryan Reynolds. That's why he was able to
like,
do.
Oh, they're cutting some recap scenes, some flashbacks. They're cutting some, whatever. I did not expect this at all.
I love as a comic book nerd the accuracy of if Human Torch fought Pyro, what would happen, which is Pyro can absorb his fire.
Yes.
Oh man, that was a great scene, and the scenes to follow after that.
All right, so here we go. We get Johnny Storm. They're now they get kidnapped, they get captured. Oh no, then we get Sabretooth.
Yep.
For like a quick moment, which I mean, I really like Sabretooth. I was hoping
shout out to what is it, Tyler? Is it Tyler Bate? Or I know it's Tyler something.
Tyler Bate's a wrestler. Big strong boy. What did he play him?
No, it was I believe the guy's name is Tyler something.
Oh, all right. Well, someone should fact check that. All right, but
he's an indie wrestler.
We get a quick moment of Sabretooth gets his head cut off, and then Cassandra Nova appears, twin sister of Charles Xavier. Interestingly, I think now I'm not so sure, but I thought Cassandra Nova was going to wind up in season 2 of X-Men 97. So it's interesting to see her popping up here. I'm gonna just say, I don't know if they really made her as badass as she could have been. I thought, I don't know. I didn't feel like she was a very powerful.
I think she was a villain by circumstance. I think that Paradox was her, and Paradox were like the main villains.
Yeah,
but I think they purposely kept her for budgetary reasons. Probably they kept her powers grounded. But I do think that might not be the last time we see her as a character. Probably not the same actress, I assume, or I might be wrong because she's too big to the X-Men lore. I think we're either going to get it on X-Men 97 or we're going to get it live action.
Yeah, I think
that. It's coming.
Also, today is Saturday. The budget for this movie was $200 million. Guess how much this movie has made in 2 days?
Probably 400 million.
211 US.
Oh,
so it'll hit 4 by the end of the weekend. It is Saturday morning, so we got all day. So yeah, the week it's gonna hit 4 or 500 million.
Oh, it's gonna be the most lucrative movie that's a non Avengers movie.
Yeah,
it might actually topple Wakanda, Black Panther, not Wakanda. Wakanda's a fictional country. But.
Oh yeah, it's gonna do some numbers. All right, so okay, Johnny dead. All out of nowhere. I didn't even understand this. Now, granted, Deadpool talks a lot and he gets himself into a lot of situations, but Deadpool just decides to just smack talk Johnny and get Johnny Storm murked. Completely.
But he said it. He told Wolverine, he was like, you know what that was doing to our budget? He said it after he's like, you killed him. And he's like, well, you know what that was doing to our budget? So he's like,
oh God. The fourth wall nods were usually on point. They were on
he
point.
Was calling people by their real name. Like not the character that they were at, like, you know what I mean? Constantly referring.
Even when he was sitting with the skeleton of Logan,
yeah,
he started referring to like Australia and all that, and like referring to him as Hugh Jackman and not Logan. Yep. So yeah, it's a lot of fourth wall breaking. Following the escape, Logan and Wilson meet a variant of Wilson, which is Nice Pool, who gives them a car.
Which is just Ryan Reynolds with a wig.
And so you get this very nice, full, no mask, beautiful Ryan Reynolds, who's just very nice and has a dog, and gives them the car, which they will use to drive through the borderlands. And oh yeah, that's also because the giant, the hands, the whole thing was the giant Ant-Man suit. And he's like, oh, Paul Rudd finally aged or something like that. There's just so many quips in there that are just like beyond Marvel, but just like winks to the camera. Okay. Logan chastises Wilson for the fact that he is unable to fix Logan's timeline, leading to another fight. Because remember, he said an educated.
He kind of lied.
He gave him an educated wish. That wasn't a lie. The fight in the van was amazing. I got to shout the fight in the van. That was so good. Like how I don't even you run out of way. You think they're gonna run out of ways to just like give you gratuitous violence over the top, but man,
it was amazing.
It
went on for
in the
what seemed like 2 days, wasn't it? Or one day?
Maybe it was one day. Yeah, you see the sun go down, so they literally fight all day. That was great. The fight's totally delivered. Yeah, absolutely. Because like these two can't kill each other, so we're just gonna fight because you're mad, and then you're just gonna deal with it later because you can't get rid of each other. Question though, what would happen, or is it even possible? What would happen if you cut Deadpool's head off?
He grows. That's a question. That's happened before in the comic. And he's answered in the comic. He basically is like, I don't know if I'll grow another body or I'll grow another head. The assumption, the educated assumption would be he will grow another body because I believe his memories and everything is where it contains his ability. So
okay, now that makes sense. Interesting. All right. Oh yeah, and the old ones used to grow with the baby arms and all that stuff.
And they did a callback later on in the movie about that. I don't know if you noticed when he was fighting the evil Deadpools, he cut off 2 arms, and then when they were like talking to him, he came back with the little baby arms.
That's right. Okay, I forgot about that. All right, now we get into some ridiculous cameo action. All right.
Oh my God.
Following their escape, there's nice pool. They get to the borderlands, and they're in a cave, and the resistance.
They get saved and pretty much brought to a cave to like while they regenerated. And they wake up and they're greeted by
where you get the resistance. I don't even know in any order, and this would have all been still amazing. But we get Elektra, played by Jennifer Garner. We get Blade, played by Wesley Snipes,
with the most hilarious wig.
Yeah, the hair was a little not great. Then you get Gambit, Remy LeBeau, the hero of X-Men 97, played by who? Channing Tatum. Now, there's levels to this, but go ahead.
The reason why we got Channing Tatum is because Channing Tatum is the only Marvel actor to get all his complete check. And then they go, you know what? We're not going to play. We're not, because back, I want to say, and I'm looking this up, for years, he got cast to be Gambit. And to the point that he wanted to produce the movie and everything. For some reason, still didn't pan out. And one of the things that were wild rumors is on Reddit is that he wanted a French accent. And that's kind of like what soured Fox. And also because Wolverine Origins didn't do as good as they thought. So we get Channing here with the like OD version of a French accent.
No, man, he goes OD. So this goes back like a decade, probably or more. Channing Tatum is a huge Gambit fan. He's wanted to do this movie. He's been trying. I think he wrote a Gambit solo movie.
This is going back 2014, and then the project was finally completely canceled when Disney bought the IP back from Fox. And Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
I would have paid to see him. The over-the-top makeup, like the thing what made it so funny is that the costume he had was like the drawings that were out there that were supposed to be the rendering. It was like my man had plastic hair. My man had this cowl that made no sense.
Oh my God.
No sense. Stories.
Channing Tatum said, and in so many interviews, and I'm just reading this Vanity Fair one, he said he was absolutely traumatized when the deal fell apart. Like he wanted Gambit so bad that like he said, I didn't watch any other movies once the deal fell off. I love that character so much. I want to play Gambit. And when it didn't happen, he stopped watching Marvel movies. He was just like legit, like really, really sad about it. And so this is some long-term storytelling here to get him to play Gambit, get the over-the-top accent, and get constantly laughed at about it. It was just.
And you know what? This is why I think we don't deserve Ryan Reynolds, because Ryan Reynolds was in the same position a little bit longer than Channing Tatum when he was doing Deadpool. And the reason I say that is because the only reason Deadpool 1 got greenlit is because he leaked himself footage that he did for Deadpool, and then 20th Century Fox had to do it because they got so much positive feedback for it.
Right.
And so
is
he
that
probably
what happened with the original Deadpool movie?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so was that like, did they leak it because like it just wasn't going to happen?
No. Fox Studios was on the fence because again, nobody wants a rated R superhero movie.
But so they shot it.
No, he paid for that.
Okay.
He paid for that when he went, because originally it was his script. It was written by him and his friends. Okay. And he basically, when Hollywood pitches, they usually pitch a script and then instead of him doing storyboards, he filmed this. Filmed it. That's why his suit was iconic, because it was actually his design. And if you watch the movie, when he was talking about the Marvel stuff, is Fox didn't change the suit. They were like, we're just gonna make more of them, like, you know what I mean? And they just it was the same suit that he did the little thing. So when it was in development hell, and he felt that Fox was not going to release it or greenlight it, so it got leaked. And till this day, it's like we can point to Ryan Reynolds to leaking it, but legally you can't prove it. And then a year later, and then the movie was filmed 6 months later because Fox was inundated with requests like, hey, so when did this movie come out? That Fox was like, all right, we got an audience.
Yep.
And it was filmed. So I'm pretty sure that the whole Channing Tatum situation spoke to him, and he probably approached him because they're around the same age and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, listen, what do you think about this? And he was like, oh my God, yes.
Like, yeah, absolutely. Oh man, it was so good. I
the thing about him, and we don't normally curse on this show, but the thing he was talking about coming out his daddy's balls.
Oh my God, that was wild. He's like, there's a lot of wild lines about how ready he is, but that's literally how ready he was to be Gambit. So there's many layers to that, and so you get to check off the fan service box, but also like if you know, it's very big. Also, Blade says, of course, he says his great line about ice skating uphill.
Motherfucker is still ice skating uphill, which is literally it's the most quotable line. Like I literally cannot talk about Blade without saying his original iconic line. And you know, it was an ad-lib that he said. Because they kept the camera shot on him, and he felt weird that it was just gonna be like the zoom out.
Okay.
Like, but nah, that was. And then the thing about the Wesley thing was the amazing part that your man had real life beef with Ryan Reynolds after they did a Blade Trinity. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, Google Blade Trinity, Ryan Reynolds and Wesley Snipes, and Jennifer Garner, because she was part of it too, wasn't it? Or was that the other girl?
It was another girl, I think.
Yeah, so basically, Blade Trinity, for those of you that are not fans of the Blade franchise, was supposed to branch off to, I believe, the Night Stalkers, which is Hannibal King, and the other characters that showed up in Blade. And Wesley did not like that he was being sidelined for them to launch this franchise, and he was a complete dick about it, which I understand. They're trying to push him out of his own brand.
He didn't like that. So there's a legendary story about how Wesley hated Ryan Reynolds so much that on the set he would never refer to him by name.
Yep. Do
you know what he would call him?
No, I forgot.
He would call him that cracker. Hey, tell that cracker to get out of my shot.
But it's amazing. It's amazing that Ryan, like, he's like, you know what, fuck it. And then Wesley Snipes now is in a position where, like, you don't know, like, for him to be so big, and he probably suggested Blade and contacted Wesley himself.
Yeah.
For him to share his shine, he was like, bro, come on over. Let's get this check.
Like, let's get this money. Like, and that's where, you know, the love for creating great content can overcome any sort of petty beef.
And I'm pretty sure
none of that stuff matters now. Like Blade Trinity, I hate to say it, no one's thinking about that movie. Like,
but
time has not been very, very good to that movie. But you know, and Blade's about to hopefully get a resurgence. And he also has a great line where he says, "There's only one Blade." And
then sure enough, yesterday, Kevin Feige confirmed that the next rated R movie is Blade. So now they're pushing that forward, and it's going to be awkward. Like, now you got to include Wesley. Like,
oh, you have to. Like, there's no question. And there was rumors swirling that he was going to appear in the new one. So this just kind of confirms it. Like, he has to be a part of it now. Like, you can't ignore him. Or you, because all this stuff is happening on an alternate universe. So it's a complete alternate timeline, alternate plan.
There's
people need to be played by any of these people.
Yeah, but there's also a rumor that when they do Secret Wars, everybody that's ever cameoed in Marvel will come back. And, you know, you could have Blade teaming up with Daredevil and Elektra and whatever, and they could be on the streets because that's what they are. They're grounded heroes. Daredevil's not fighting Apocalypse. No. You know what I mean? Like,
no, you got to keep the human heroes and the mutant heroes completely separate because we can't compete. Like, you're not going after Galactus with a slingshot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Blade is like, oh, I'll get him.
I got him. I bet he bleeds. You're like, it's not quite the same. So I want to talk about the leak that happened at Comic-Con. And I don't know if it's even a leak. It was just, if you attended Comic-Con, Wesley brought up, or Ryan Reynolds brought up Wesley Snipes, Jennifer Garner, and pretty much spoiled the freaking movie. That was on TMZ. It got leaked everywhere. And
I understand why they did it, because they wanted to wow the fans and create more buzz. And they assumed that other media outlets.
This movie's huge. How much more?
I get it. But they were afraid that somebody else is going to spoil it. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like the whole I'm going to end my own. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's on brand that the fact that Deadpool spoiled his own movie.
Yeah, I just wish they could have kept it secret. But then again, like, how you put up all these no spoilers texts and signs and flyers the whole movie, the whole week. No spoilers, guys. No spoilers. Oh, by the way, you know that 1 million cameras are following everything Ryan Reynolds does. And now he shows up at a panel and brings up the freaking cameos. So,
and you know they got to check for that. So come on, he's trying to get them paid, baby. Wesley need that bread.
I mean, I'm not mad at getting bread.
He's not living like us, but Wesley probably needs $1 million to live a year. So, you know, he was helping him.
He's not turning down the bag. I get it. But I just feel like, man, like they should have been a little more careful about that. Or maybe just done it. But like you said, somebody else would have leaked it if it didn't happen from them.
And then you got to also understand, like, he's letting these actors that have not been in the spotlight to strike while the iron is hot. It's different from Chris Evans. But like you think about the legacy Fox characters, some of those people have moved on to movies that don't even matter anymore. Like, when was the last time you saw Jennifer Garner as a lead character? It's been a while. When was the last time outside of Expendables that you seen a Western movie make it to the movies?
Yeah. I get it. Like, I totally get it. I understand that you want to get these people their bag. I'm all for it. I just feel like as a fan of not leaking spoilers, like I just feel like, man, they gave away one of the biggest moments in the show.
But I'm also very happy that now we might get a resurgence that we got from like Jean-Claude Van Damme, all these cats, when they do the one IP that brings them back into the zeitgeist, that somebody will be like, what would be good for this movie? But let's get Wesley. Let's do Passenger 57 too, or something like that. You know what I mean?
Passenger 58. Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. If it gets people the bag, I cannot complain. All right. So we got mad cameos. And X-23, of course, comes back as well. So we build a squad. She's like super dope. I mean, it's the same actor, right? Like, it's the same
actress, and it's confirmed that Daphne is in the Marvel universe. Everybody else is kind of like on the fence. Like, Daphne will be part of all the crew, all the people that that Deadpool brings to his movies. She'll be now part of that family, just like Wolverine is.
Okay. Can we talk about the Juggernaut? Now, I get it. You can't get a human being to look as big as the Juggernaut has looked in comics, but man, maybe some CGI or something. But when you got a guy
the original like Juggernaut,
I respect that. But man,
it was from, what is it, X2 or X3? When did the Juggernaut appear?
Was it X2?
I don't know. It was one
Juggernaut, bitch. Yeah, that was X3, maybe.
Yeah,
I guess. Okay, it was X3. All right.
But it wasn't even the same actor, because the guy, that guy from that always plays those silent characters, that British dude, that he always plays like a hooligan, that he was the original actor, and that's why Deadpool like said, "Which Juggernaut are you?" Because it was just a random guy playing the original Juggernaut. They couldn't get the original actor, but they needed it. Because the Juggernaut that they had in, I think, Deadpool 2 was all CGI. You didn't see him.
Yeah.
Like, it was all CGI. So, yeah.
All right. And that's cool. I just feel like now that we have the better technology, he shouldn't look like Ram Man from the He-Man toys. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. It's just, to me, I was like, but whatever. All right. So they get the plan. They're going to get Juggernaut's helmet off, and then they're going to put it on Cassandra Nova and blah, blah, blah. All right. Pyro. Turns out Pyro made a deal with Paradox to try to get out of the void. So he turns on Cassandra Nova. Logan convinces Wilson to remove the helmet. They have a situation where it's like, oh, well, I can't do this unless I take the helmet off. You got to do this to get me off of here. And there's a lot of confusion. Next thing you know, they get the helmet off. Cassandra Nova opens a portal back to Wade Wilson's timeline. So now they're on original Earth 10,005 timeline. Wilson and Logan find that Paradox is using the Time Ripper. This is the device that kind of
the MacGuffin that he names it as MacGuffin.
What? Yeah, the MacGuffin. So the device that will mercy kill a timeline, and he's about to use it on Wade Wilson's timeline. Again, the story, I feel like, it's like your world is about to be destroyed. Yeah. It's like, okay, it was all right. It was a little hokey, but okay.
And they defeated him with the power of friendship.
And the power of friendship is the only way to defeat it. Nova learns this from Pyro before she executes him, arrives to another portal, kidnaps Paradox, plans to take control, and then she summons an army of Deadpools.
Which was full of cameos.
Every Deadpool, all kinds of cameos.
Lady Deadpool was, of course, Ryan Reynolds' wife. She played it. And there's a rumor that Cowboy Deadpool was actually your boy. What the hell is his name?
What's his
Matthew
name?
McConaughey.
All right. So yeah, I think it was Matthew McConaughey. I remember hearing the voice and being like, "That sounds familiar." And when I watched the credits,
And this is not the first time he's done that. Matthew McConaughey has done cameos in Star Wars and The Mask. Like, he just likes stuff.
That's cool. That's dope. I like that, where you could just get like big name people to just be like, "Yo, pull up, we'll find something for you," and then they do. So here's where, to me, this gets corny. All right, so the Deadpool variants are regenerating, and I was like, "Oh dang!" I was hoping, all right, because I'm looking at the time. I'm like, all right, it's been about 2 hours. This is how you gonna beat all these variants. Oh, they just won't regenerate. Yep, turns out they do regenerate. So it's like, oh man, this fight is just beginning. But who saves the day but Peter?
Yep.
So Peter shows up on
First
a bike.
of all, I gotta pause this. I gotta pause my entire statement. Did you not notice how Peter's quote unquote junk was massive for no reason in the Deadpool suit? Like,
No.
Go back and watch it. That was all part of the joke when he was talking about, like, I have a friend that has the nipple clamps all the way down to his member.
Oh yeah, but it was him.
It was him. It was him.
I do remember him saying that.
And then, like, it was like little things that Ryan Reynolds does. Like, and the only reason I noticed is because it was you cannot ignore that. Like, they heavily compensated for his nether.
I managed to avoid it, but
I don't know. Call me weird. I guess
on the next watch, I'll maybe check it out. So
check for another man's junk.
Yeah, I'll be inspecting the package on the next viewing. Sure. But yo, I thought garbage. I was like, okay, here we go. Like, let's just figure out a way to tie this movie up. I feel like, and they're like, oh, everybody's got a Peter. Okay, Peter, yeah.
It's a typical Deadpool thing. Remember how in the first one he was like, get ready, and then because they didn't want to make it a shoot 'em up, Deadpool forgot his guns in the cab. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's typical Deadpool thing, and he does the same shit in his comics. So
no, I get it. Okay. But I didn't really dig it, but I get it. All right. So Peter comes in, blah blah blah. It stops everybody. Then Wade's about to go. He fights Wolverine basically to give his life for his people, for his timeline. But the power of friendship is what they need to save the day. All right, Paradox is then arrested by Hunter B-15, which if you watch Loki, first of all, you needed to watch Loki to really properly enjoy it.
But they did give a lot of heavy exposition too.
They did. So you didn't necessarily need to, but you would pick up a lot more if you watch Loki, for sure. The whole TVA thing is like they explained a lot. Wilson requests B-15 return the others. I like the fact that she was like, oh, we can't change Logan's past. Like, nah, the Logan that you needed for this is the Logan who lost everything. Like we wouldn't be here without that. And I thought that was a really good point to make. Like,
and it was like message.
Yeah, it's like the stuff you can't go back in life, y'all. This is the message of this whole show.
And also, you know who you are today. You're made by your experiences. Absolutely.
Who you are is yes, it was built on what you've done in the past that made you the person that you are today. So there's no point of regretting anything that's happened in the past because it's made you the person you are today.
Correct.
That's the message. And knowing is half the battle. All right. So then we get show's basically over, but okay. Next thing you know, he's kind of getting back with Vanessa. That seems to be working out. Show over. We get a mid-credit thing, which is amazing. Almost made your boy shed a tear.
Yeah.
A lot of great footage from all of the 20th
backstage stuff too, like stuff we never seen.
First thing I thought, I was like, this better be a Disney Plus doc immediately.
It might.
Like, they better get a thank you to 20th Century Fox doc together immediately. Like the X-Men in Fox, and I don't know. I mean, maybe they won't want to get into any controversial stuff, but just the backstage footage alone, I need a doc on that. Like the fact that they recorded so much stuff. They got Ryan Reynolds talking about wanting to play Deadpool and all that stuff. Like, it was just like so perfect. So
Hugh Jackman talking about like he doesn't want to shit the bed on his first scene.
Yeah, like he's like, oh man, I've been here three weeks. We haven't shot anything yet. I just hope I don't mess up anything, you know.
Yeah.
And then becoming this iconic character. So
he looks like a baby in that footage, man.
Yeah,
compared to how he looks now, like it's crazy.
Oh man, for real. Like time has, time's been pretty good to him, I will say.
Yes.
Hugh Jackman, they said he had a vigorous workout routine for this movie where he ate up to 8,000 calories a day. So
that hurts my stomach thinking about it.
I'm like, gee whiz, like think about how much work you got to do to get.
Think about The Rock. The Rock ate, I think, 10,000 calories for the movie that sucked ass, Hercules.
Oh my
like
God.
They would wake him up every 3 hours and just hand him food, like eat this. Like imagine that.
Wow.
where eating just becomes a chore that you're like,
You're like, I gotta eat again. All right, here we go. During I just wanted to talk about how happy I was when they showed all the different Logans that they showed Patch. I got really excited. I popped for that too. I like the old man Logan, the variant that was on the Giant X, and they're like, oh, we'll get back to that, you know. So he's like, not now, but
no, he says it's like we're just going a different direction. Like, sorry. It's like,
oh, that was great. That was great.
And then you get the is it Age of Apocalypse? Yeah, it's Age of Apocalypse, one-handed Wolverine. That's a throwback from the 90s comics. When, I believe if you go back and to one of our shows, we reference that timeline where Rogue and Magneto were together, and I think it was Storm and Wolverine were a couple, and like, Wolverine just had a missing hand. I don't know how they explain that how he generates, but one hand.
Yeah, one hand. That's the Age of Apocalypse one with the glam kind of hair, and the red and black costume.
Yeah.
It was some other little notes that I saw through here that I wanted to jump into, but basically, now we got the whole movie out the way, and now we have to rate it, my friend.
Yes,
you got to tell me, what was this movie? Let's give it. I don't know. What are we doing? I'm
gonna do a different rating.
Letter grades. How you want to do this?
I'm doing a different rating. And maybe you could follow suit. So for the movie itself, based on the structure of the movie and everything, I give it a 7.5. Now, how the movie, and this is based on the plot, because that's the only downfall that they had, but how the movie made me feel, a 20.
There you go. This is gonna be one of those, because I've noticed the critics are kind of panning it and being like, oh, it's just foul-mouthed dumb garbage, but
it's gratuitous fan service, which I'm all here for. That's all we want.
But the fans are like, oh my God, when this happened, I went crazy when this happened. So the feels of it, I think, definitely boosted. If you're just looking at it from a movie standpoint, you're gonna be like, it's not a strong plot, it's not a strong movie. However, the cameos, the backstory, the winks, the nods are all so well done, so smart, and exactly what we as fans have wanted to see, and that we've never thought we'd see. It's like, was it Homecoming, the Spider-Man one, where the moment happened, everybody's like,
yeah.
This is that on steroids. Like, this is that on steroids. Like, because this is stuff I've never thought I'd see in a movie. No Way Home, that was the big one. And so this is that beyond, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a moment what I never thought I would see, but there's like 7 moments in this movie that I never thought I'd see. So
things that I didn't even think of.
Yeah,
that I needed in my life.
Like, man, you know what, man? They really need to just pop Blade in, I didn't think that at all, So this was as far as on a fan tip. So yes, if I had to give it 2 ratings, I'm gonna say, as a movie, as a piece of cinema, I probably give it a 7. maybe 7.5, same. But as a piece of fan art and a work for fans, this is a A plus 999 because but for that I will say, do you think that would kill the replay value of something like this? Because
No,
there's just giant loads of fan service everywhere, but not, you know what I'm saying? Like there's no surprises the next time you watch.
It doesn't kill the replay because this movie does what it sets out to do. It doesn't set out to change how you think about something. It sets out to make you happy.
Yeah.
And if a movie makes me happy, I can rewatch it over and over and over and over again. And I will. This movie, I'm gonna probably go see it in 24 hours again.
Right. A lot of my homies are going to see it again. So shoot, I'm gonna be in Denver. I got a day off Monday. I might just watch it again. Absolutely. So speaking of, at this time, I want to give some a little bit of announcements. You know, it's like church. We got to do the announcements from
Go ahead.
I will be on tour. I'm doing the Underground Music Showcase in Denver this weekend. I have a show Sunday night, 10 p.m. Myself, B. Dolan's playing right before me. Wheelchair Sports Camp right before him. It's gonna be a fun show, and then we go on tour. We play Colorado Springs on Tuesday, the 30th. Launchpad in Albuquerque, the 31st. August 1st, Tucson. August 2nd, Phoenix. August 3rd, SummerSlam. Yeah, a little wrestling.
Yes.
Hopefully after that, I'll be back. We will drop another episode for y'all. We can get back into the X-Men 97 comic and so many other things that we've been talking about. Hopefully there's some new news on the X-Men 97 front that we can talk about. And then in the middle of the month, I will be in the UK with my man Shaudo. We're doing the Birmingham Anime Con. We're doing Manchester, Huddersfield, London, and then Bristol, and then more wrestling. All in. Yeah, that's what I do. I plan my tours around wrestling. That's what I do.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
No, I mean, it ain't bad living if you can get it. So yeah, man, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, for staying with us, you know, throughout our hiatuses. We will be back.
Yep.
So don't worry. Please continue to give us all the high ratings. And
can I plug some stuff too?
Marcos, plug away.
All right. So number one, thanks again, Roosevelt's, for plugging us in with the awesome X-Men merch. I got my package yesterday. I ordered Deadpool and Wolverine. They have some amazing gear. Go check their website out. Secondly, I will be riding along with Megaran to SummerSlam, and so hopefully we get some other type of content. And you know, I want to announce that we're gonna probably do the Retreon Media Pod. We're gonna dive a little bit deeper in the Deadpool thing, kind of like more by the numbers, not as all like a little bit different than this. And that's pretty much it. And if you see me, say what's up, get a sticker. You know, as always, get our merch. You know, I don't know, get a mug for your uncle or something.
Pick up a mug. Shout out to everybody that's been watching and supporting and holding us down. Thank you to Geekscape. They're out at San Diego Comic-Con right now, so there is a table there. So go pop up and see the homies. Tell them you appreciate the X-Pod. And we will be back with more content for you and yours. Go see this movie.
Yes.
If you watched this whole thing and didn't see the movie, sorry, because we spoiled everything. But
first of all, it's your fault. You sat and listened to us live.
I told y'all to stop. But if you're still listening, sorry. But I appreciate it. And you know what? Even if I'd known every spoiler, I would still watch this movie and I would still react the same way I did. So it was legit. It was really dope. All right, so we are up out of here. I'm gonna play y'all out with our X-Men jam and some commercials. But yeah, go get yourself some merch. And the X-Pod is out like Johnny Storm. I mean, he got his like skin ripped off of him.
Peace and mami, te quiero mucho. That's it.
That's it, y'all. All right. Much love, deuces. We out of here.
Don't worry about you.
They should have animated Forge's face when he turned on the news and he saw like all disappointed like, hey, this is Marcos. Thanks for supporting the X-Pod 97. We now have merch, y'all. Grab a t-shirt, grab a sticker, grab a hoodie, or even get a mug for one of your relatives or something. I don't know. Rep the greatest X-Men podcast on the planet. We love doing what we do, and we want to continue bringing you weekly episodes. So don't forget to rate us and always subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest drops. Thanks again. We appreciate everything. See ya next time. Hey, this is Marcos. Thanks for supporting.